Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all had a great weekend. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for Monday, March 20th. We got ourselves a 5-game slate here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays, and then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see one of these games are coming in with an implied total of 7 goals, 2 games at 6.5, and then 2 games at 6 goals even. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And then here's a schedule update for this week. A video here today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, breaking down each one of those Nhl Dfs slates, but nothing for Wednesday, as we have ourselves just a 2-game NHL slate. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that first line for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We got Crosby centering Gensel and Raquel. Now, for starters, these guys are a little more affordable than I thought they would be on this 5-game slate, so I'll definitely take advantage of that. These three have shown solid chemistry together all year long, especially when playing at home. That hasn't changed here in their past 10 games. They've combined for 12 goals, 19 assists, 31 points, averaging over 3 points per game. And they have a good matchup at home here tonight to expand on that versus the Ottawa Senators, who have really struggled here as of late, allowing 5 goals per game with a penalty kill hitting at just a 70.5% rate in their past 5 games. And I love the correlation we get between these three, all playing up on the #1 power play. And then a cheaper line stack that I like here tonight is that first line for the Florida Panthers. We got Barkov centering Luosterainen and Duclair. Now, I actually like the top 2 lines for Florida here tonight. In fact, I like that second line better, of Bennett centering Verhaeghe and Tkachuk, but they're significantly more expensive compared to this first line here. So again, if you're looking for a cheaper line stack option, I like Florida in general here tonight, and this first line offers that. Good matchup against Detroit, who have not played very good hockey as of late, just going 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. And Florida's hot right now, scoring goals at a very high rate, averaging over 4.5 goals per game here, with a power play scoring at a 31.5% rate in their last 5 games. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Don't forget, I am running that Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We got a great group of people in there talking hockey and talking prize picks as well. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. First guy I got there is Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche. Honestly, I'm fine rostering anyone in the top 6 forwards for this Avalanche team here tonight, in a good matchup at home against the Chicago Blackhawks, a team that we've picked on all year long, one that's allowed 3.5 goals per game, the 8th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 77% rate. You got Rantanen playing up on the first line right now with McKinnon and Rodriguez, who I got listed below. Going to play on that #1 power play too. Currently riding a 7-game point streak where he's racked up 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points, averaging around 3 shots on net per game. Look, if I'm playing Mikko tonight, I'm probably stacking him up with a McKinnon, a Makar, really anyone on that first line or #1 power play, as that's the correlation I'm looking for. I then got Tim Stützle there of the Ottawa Senators. Now, I think a lot of people are going to have most of their focus on the Avalanche and Oilers tonight, rightfully so. They're both sitting in really good matchups, hence the reason I'm highlighting some of those guys on the spreadsheet here today. But I think this game between the Senators and Penguins could go a little overlooked, and there's a lot of high scoring potential here. We just talked about how bad the Ottawa Senators have played here as of late, especially in their own end. Pittsburgh has not been much better, and it's largely due to their goaltending play. Now, Casey DeSmith and Tristan Jarry have been very hit or miss this year, and they're not playing very well right now. If Tristan Jarry starts tonight, I even like the matchup better for the Senators, even though he's technically the #1 goaltender. Pittsburgh has allowed 3.80 goals per game here in their past 5, and Tim Stützle has played very well as of late, having racked up 8 goals, 10 assists, 18 points in his past 10 games, averaging close to 3.5 shots on net per game. You'll see him play on that first line and #1 power play tonight. I then got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins there of the Edmonton Oilers, and really it's kind of the same spiel here for the Oilers as it was the Avalanche. I'm okay rostering anyone in the top 6 6 forwards for this Oilers team here tonight in a good matchup against the San Jose Sharks, who have been awful since the All-Star break. In just their last 6 games, they've allowed 4.5 goals per game, with a penalty kill hitting at just a 75% rate. Let's not forget, this Oilers team has the best power play in the NHL, and we're going to see Nugent Hopkins play up on that number 1 power play, down on the second line with Draisaitl, but still logging really big minutes. And I feel like kind of the big 5 forwards that you got, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Evander Kane, Nugent Hopkins is one of those guys who kind of flies under the radar, so I liked him at this price here, $6,300. But again, if I'm playing him, I'm stacking him up with Draisaitl or really anyone on that number 1 power play. Next is Evan Rodrigues there at the Colorado Avalanche. Great opportunity play here, being that he's up on that first line with Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. You could stack those guys up. Or if you want to get a little more contrarian with this Avalanche team here tonight, you could also target that number 2 power play. Rodrigues kind of bounces back and forth between the first and second power play, but a guy who's getting a lot of opportunity, not only on that first line, but on the special teams, and sitting at a nice price tag here of $4,900 in a good home matchup against Chicago. And then another forward that I liked here in the 4K range was Gabriel Vilardi of the Los Angeles Kings. We're seeing him play on the third line right now, but up on the number 1 power play, so another solid opportunity play here considering the price. He's racked up 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points here in his past 10 games. Definitely someone who can find the back of the net. Now, it's kind of tough to get a read on this game here between the Kings and Flames. If we look at this game from a high-level view, it should be low scoring just based off of how both teams play. But if we go back earlier in this season in their first 2 meetings, those were higher scoring games. I think they finished 4-3 and 5-7. However, being that we're closer to the playoffs now, Kings are playing very well defensively, and the Flames are just trying to make the playoffs in general, I suspect this will be a lower scoring game tonight, but again, earlier this year it was high scoring, so maybe take that with a grain of salt. But again, Vilardi here at $4,500, I thought that was a solid opportunity play. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, 2 guys I would be willing to pay up for here tonight are Cale Makar and Chris Letang. Honestly, I would pay up for Brandon Montour of the Florida Panthers too. I believe he's $6,100. We can play these guys as individual plays, but it makes sense to stack them up with forwards on the same number 1 power play. But honestly, I'm finding most of the value below 5K here tonight. Evan Bouchard and Jake Sanderson are offering some really nice value at their prices. Bouchard, I've talked about him a lot here over the past couple of weeks. Ever since Tyson Barrie was traded to the Nashville Predators, Bouchard is logging around 3 to 4 minutes per game, and he's up on the number 1 power play, which again has been the best power play in the NHL all year long. And right now we're seeing Jake Sanderson play on the number 1 power play for the Ottawa Senators, which has the 7th best power play in the NHL, scoring at a 24% rate. So I'm going to have these guys in a lot of my lineups tonight. Again, I will pay up for both of these guys as well, but most of the value is below 5K here tonight. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you. Found myself spending up at the goalie position for the most part. Goalie position in general wasn't my favorite on this 5-game slate, as there is a lot of high scoring potential. Stuart Skinner has been solid here in March for the Edmonton Oilers. He's 7-1-0 so far, hitting 15 plus DraftKings points in 6 of his 8 starts. And the Sharks, again, have not played very good hockey as of late, averaging below 2 goals per game in their past 6 games. And then I got Korpisalo or Coplay there for the Los Angeles Kings. Not entirely sure who's going to start here tonight, but again, I think that this game could be lower scoring, and for what it's worth, LA has been very good at home. One of the best teams in the NHL at home this year. I think they have the 5th best home record, sitting at 22-9-4. Plus, the Calgary Flames love to shoot the puck, so one of these goaltenders should see a lot of volume his way, as the Flames average close to 36 shots on net per game throughout this season. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. Folks, not in love with the sub-4K forward plays here tonight either, hence the reason I prefer to spend up at forward and spend down on defense. But again, I got 3 guys here. I'll always highlight 3 guys that I think do have some nice upside. First being Andrew Kopp of the Detroit Red Wings, currently playing on the second line in number 2 power play right now, has found the score sheet here pretty frequently as of late with 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in his last 6 games, hitting 9 plus DraftKings points in 5 of those 6 games. Next is Kyler Yamamoto of the Edmonton Oilers, plays on that second line with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins, plays on the number 2 power play as well. He's truly a boom-bust type of player. He's not my favorite player to roster, but he is someone who has 25 plus DraftKings point upside, considering he plays with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. And then going back to Detroit there with Alec Jason, he just got called up from the AHL, played 7 games so far, and he is playing on the 4th line, but they're giving him opportunity on the number 1 power play, and he has made the most of that, racking up 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points on the power play in just his last 7 games. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Do not have the full set of picks out as I record here this morning, but the shots on goal props, a lot of even numbers sitting here early on Monday. Hopefully that changes a little bit. For those of you who know me, not a big fan of the even props, but I'm going to do my same strategy like I always do. Go through all of these picks once all of them come out, do my research, and then let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video. And I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. But don't forget, I am posting those picks in my Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, if you have not signed up for Prize Picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you don't have to put $100 in. If you want to put in 50, they'll match 50. You want to put in 20, they will match that 20. Again, they'll match anything up to $100 as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 5-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.